the difference? Is it just seeing it so much, getting used to what to do against that?
Yeah, we had a better game plan. I feel like going into it, Coach Kingsbury told me I just take the little ones quick and don't try to make scramble around because I mean they have 8 guys back there. Not a lot of stuff's gonna get open. So just take those unders, take those stops, and it worked out well.
Why do you think it took so, what, 3 and outs, three and outs? What was happening? Were you just not, what happened?
I mean, they just had a good game plan coming in, and it just took a little bit to kind of see where those holes were, and a lot of it was me not just trusting in those because the windows weren't big, and I had to trust in myself and the receivers, throw them in there, and the receivers had to make some tough catches, and they did.
What do you look at when you see Iowa State's defense?
Just their whole team in general. They have a lot of talent. They've been in a lot of close games, a lot of games they could have won, and it hasn't gone their way, kind of like us. And so, I mean, they're going to be giving us their best effort. I mean, it's going to be at home for them. It's a tough place to play, and so they'll be out there and they'll be flying around. You just got to go out there to a tough environment and try to get a win.
It's an extremely early weather report. We're supposed to be cold and snowy on Saturday. How do you guys prepare for that mentally?
I mean, we knew before when we got the season started there was a chance that it could be snowing up there, and it's something that you just have to embrace. I think last year when we had bowl practices, we practiced in the snow. So I mean, it's something that we've done before, and we'll just have to embrace it and be ready for a snowy atmosphere.
You mentioned the bowl practices. How important is it for this team to get those this year and become bowl eligible?
It's very important, especially moving forward to the next season. Those bowl practices, they give you a lot of experience, a lot of times where guys get to kind of show what they got, and going into the spring, going into the next season. So I know after my freshman year, we didn't get those. Going into my sophomore, I mean, it's something you don't want to be at home. You don't want to be sitting there.
Do you feel like your defense has turned a corner?
Yes, and I mean, I think they're just going to keep getting better. A lot of young guys, a lot of young talent, and I feel like they'll keep getting better the rest of the season. And, I mean, going into next year, I'll be feeling very confident.
I know last week I kind of asked you about Oklahoma State being a turning point type of game for you in your career, but I remember Cliff a couple of years ago when you guys had come back and won in Ames, you kind of saw that as a light bulb coming on for you just in your career. What do you remember from that game in Ames a couple of years ago?
I mean, like it's supposed to be this weekend. It was cold. It was a tough game. I mean, going there for anyone is always a tough environment, but you just got to find ways to win, and I think it was my first career win. And like you said, it can be kind of a turning point where I kind of found my way, I guess you would say, and what it takes and what I need to do to be good at this level.
With all the changes you've had at the offensive line, especially with Murphy leaving, how hard is it to get the trust with those guys that are coming in for what could be the first time this year?
I mean, this last game, we didn't have Murphy, and I mean Murphy's a great guy, a great leader, and I hate it for him that he had to be gone. But those young guys have stepped up and they're playing, and I'm just going to trust in them, try to get the ball out fast, try to help them out a little bit, and at the same time, I mean they played their best game probably this last week, and so hopefully it just carries on.
Much pressure do you feel on yourself to kind of be that other running back since you guys are so thin at that position right now?
I mean, all season I feel like I've ran the ball well when I did run it. I mean, the sack, a lot of the yards I had to take negative plays, take away from that. But I mean, all year long I've been able to run the ball a little bit, but I trust in those running backs. I mean, they came in, they've been stepping up, they've been getting better every week, so I'll just keep trusting in them.
Did you play with Dr. Bryce on Saturday?
Yeah, I started I think the first two series, and I took it off.
Is that just because?
It got loose. It was getting loose again, and then I've been kind of asking if I could take it off these last few weeks, and the trainers have told me to kind of keep it on and try to play through it. But they said if I felt comfortable, I could play without it.
You got the rest of the game without? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I mean, there's still lingering effects in that knee that have kind of carried on throughout the offseason and into this year.
I think I kind of tweaked it one time at the beginning of the spring. Since then, nothing's happened to it. And I worked out all summer without the knee brace, did all the cuts, did all this stuff. So it was just a confidence thing, and I feel like now, I'm pretty confident in it.
Is it gonna be hard not to press because you know you need to win these 2 games?
Yes, definitely. You want to get to a bowl game. You don't want these 2 weeks be your last 2 weeks of the season. We've went through a lot together on this team. We have a great brotherhood, and we all love each other. So we're really gonna go out there and just try to play our game, but we're gonna leave it all out on the field. Try to win 2 football games against 2 great teams and get to a bowl game.
Luke, is the defense turning a corner?
I've definitely seen progress from week to week throughout the season. This time at this point of the season, we need to be playing at a high level. So I'm definitely pleased with our performance, and throughout the rest of the stretch, we just got to find a way to keep competing at that high level.
You guys are hitting the road for Iowa State. Early weather forecast shows possible snow and freezing rain, if not. How do you prepare for that?
You got to be ready to play wherever they place the ball down, at whatever time. So you just got to be kind of trained for whatever, and whatever the weather ends up doing, be ready to compete.
As a defensive player, do you like playing in the frigid temperatures, or would you rather it be 85?
I just love playing football. It really doesn't matter what the temperature is. Honestly, we're going to go play ball, and we're excited to get after them regardless of the weather.
What do you expect to see from Iowa State's offense?
They have a great home atmosphere. They compete well at home, and we're excited to be part of that environment and use that energy to our advantage, and we're excited to go compete.
Does it make it a harder job for the defense knowing you're preparing for 2 different quarterbacks with 2 different styles?
We're going to be prepared going into this game to be ready to stop either quarterback, and as you mentioned, they do have kind of different ways of playing at the quarterback position, but whoever's out there will be ready to compete against them.
Cliff told us that at the end of the game, he told the defense to let them score. Is that weird hearing that from the defensive side of the ball? Letting another team score?
Right. At the end of the day, you got to do what the coach asks you to do. So that's the first time I've been put in that situation. But whatever's best for the team, and that's what he thought was best at that point, and that's what we try to do.
Coach said that he doesn't feel like Iowa State's record is indicative of the type of team that they are.
Mhm.
Has that message been clearly, passed over to you guys?
No doubt, Iowa State, they played everybody at a high level, throughout the entire season, especially at home. So, we got to compete to the best of our ability and prepare this week, and, we got to do what we need to do to take care of business come Saturday.
Is there a lot of talk about we gotta win these next 2 games so we can practice in December?
I just think it comes down to just knowing we got to attack each day, one day at a time, and do whatever we need to do to compete at a high level on Saturday. You can't look too far ahead. You see how fast the season's gone by, and it's got to be a day-by-day mentality, and you got to, sell out for your brothers in the locker room and do everything you do to help this team finish on a high note.
What's the attitude of the locker room right now after falling to Oklahoma State?
Mm-hmm. It was a tough loss. There's no 2 ways around that. We competed at a high level. I know that, and it's tough to say that because at the end of the day, we didn't find a way to win. And the only thing I can do moving forward is promise everybody in the locker room is going to sell out each day to prepare and do everything they can to finish the season on a high note and continue to compete with the best of their ability.
Seems like you guys have made some progress on the defensive end, although there's still room to improve. But compared to earlier in the season, seems like you guys always knew what the problem was. You knew what needed to change, but it just wasn't clicking for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
And you had the diagnosis, and now it's started to be put into effect. What do you think the disconnect there was?
Mm-hmm. It's hard to put it on one particular thing, but just overall, it's continuing to develop as a unit and continuing to just play for each other and compete at a high level, going into each game. And, as we continue to get momentum and build confidence, especially with our younger guys, I just feel like I'm just pleased to see that continue to improve, like you mentioned, throughout the season. And at this point in the season, it needs to continue to increase.
Well, yeah, it felt like you had kind of getting some more extended playing time with guys going out because of injury.
That just comes back to doing whatever you can do to help this team win. There's kind of a mission statement in the United States military, and it's when called upon, we respond with ready units. And that's something that's the mindset and the mentality that we try to bring to work each day, is that whatever you need to do to help this team win, that's what you need to do. And each day, whatever role you're assigned, you need to do that job to the highest level to help this team be successful.
You remember when your last sack was before Saturday?
No, sir. I'm talking. I played a lot of offense at Houston. I was actually my first collegiate sack, so you'd have to go back to the old Midland Lee days back in fall of 2011 if you want to pull that one out.
Somebody against Permian or Central or something like
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, Permian. They had their hands full. Des Smith he's next to me in the locker room. He's my locker buddy, and I walked in the locker room and I saw Des Smith, Odessa, Texas, and my nameplate. I said, "All right, Des, we're gonna have to set a few ground rules before we come prancing in here."